go. Okay. Go live. Good afternoon. Welcome to the live stream. Give me a second here. Make sure we got a little audio check, visual check. Everything's good. Good afternoon. Let's see. Okay. There we go. All right, so good. What's up? Welcome, man. Couple of things that we're going to be talking about. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to mix the serial killer story with the end of times. I don't even know if this is end of times 3 or 4. I'm not even sure. We'll just say it's 3. Yeah, I wasn't even sure what I was going to do today. I didn't sleep too well last night. I was dealing with drama, family stuff, or kind of family stuff. And so, yeah, I didn't sleep too much. But we're here, man. We're here regardless. Hola. So the first thing we're going to watch this press conference. A couple of people hit me up. I don't know where my phone's at. Okay. A couple of people hit me up. So I appreciate the people that sent that. Ray. A couple of people on Facebook about this story where multiple bodies, I guess, were found. I don't even know. All I know is multiple bodies were found. I haven't watched the press conference. We're going to watch it together. This is in Virginia. They say a serial killer might be on the loose. Police say human remains were found Wednesday tucked away in an isolated wooded area along Fairhaven Avenue. So we're going to watch this press conference, and then I'm going to bring up another story too, an LA story, just briefly to touch on it, because it made me think a little bit of Heidi Plank. If you haven't seen the Heidi Plank story, I highly recommend you check out that video. And for people that are watching the rebroadcast, I'm going to put the timestamps after the end of the stream. So, and please hit like. It helps out the stream a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially with this title. Probably putting serial killer might not be the best thing in the title. You know what I'm saying? Bernie, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. Gracias. You guys ready? Let's get started. Because this press conference is like 27 minutes. Amazing. We do this? How about that? How about now?
Everybody ready? Good afternoon. I'm joined here today by Chief Kelly Warner of the Harrisonburg, Virginia Police Department. And you all know Major Ed O'Carroll, who's the Bureau Chief of our Major Crimes Bureau. We're here today to talk about a serial killer. And that is a phrase that I've used sparingly in my 3 decades in this profession. I've been in a leadership role for the last decade or so at several departments in the National Capital Region and the DMV, and I can count on one hand, with a couple fingers left over, the number of times where law enforcement has had to grapple with the impact of a serial killer. We have a serial killer. The good thing is he's in custody. The challenge that remains is identifying other victims, and we're going to talk about that at great length. Our serial killer is called the shopping cart killer. He's called the shopping cart killer because he meets his victims, and so far we have 4. 2 are positively identified, 1 is tentatively identified, and 1 is unknown. He meets his victims on dating sites. He meets his victims then at motels, and we'll talk about a motel that he met 2 of his victims at here in Fairfax County. Chief Warner will go into the motel down in Harrisonburg where he met and killed 2 of his victims. After he inflicts trauma to his victims and kills them, he transports their bodies to their final resting place, literally in a shopping cart. And there's video to that effect. So our shopping cart killer, we know, has traveled from the DMV all the way down to Harrisonburg. We're in the process of conducting, along with many other partners, a retrospective investigation to figure out where he's been. And we're going to find out exactly where he's been. And we're going to work with our law enforcement partners, homicide detectives, missing person detectives, to see if we can identify any other victims and families and communities that he has brought harm to. The 2 victims in Harrisonburg, females, one's 54, one's 34. The known suspected victim here in Fairfax is 29 years old. I want to thank Chief Rob Conti from the Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C. When we start talking about these cases, you'll quickly remember the name Cheyenne Brown. Cheyenne Brown is who we tentatively believe one of our victims located here in Fairfax County is. We don't have 100% positive identification on her just yet, but we have a tattoo that's been positively identified by her family as Cheyenne's tattoo. And the reason why we're not waiting to share this information, waiting that is until we get positive 100% DNA or dental verification that it is Cheyenne, is because we believe that there may be other victims in the area and throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we need to act now. We need to act right now with our law enforcement partners to figure out who else our killer has had contact with. And
I'm just kind of looking up a little bit too into the story as we watch this, and one of the articles that I'm reading, apparently they alleged shopping cart killer in custody. So I guess he's in custody. I thought this guy was still, they were trying to identify him. I'm going to let this play, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. And thank you so much, Sharon, for the super chat and Care. Thank you.
And what's his MO? Dating sites, motels, blunt force trauma, shopping cart, final resting place. He's killed 4 already, and we suspect that he has more victims. He's a predator, as all serial killers are, and it's our collective effort in law enforcement to do everything we can with each other, with the community, to identify other places where he has been so we can bring closure and ultimately justice. He preys on the weak, he preys on the vulnerable, and he does unspeakable things with his victim. Our shopping cart killer does unspeakable things with his victims. And it's our collective duty and responsibility to bring justice and closure to all of our communities. I think I'm going to introduce first Chief Kelly Warner again from the Harrisonburg Police Department. She's been a great partner, as has her entire police department. And then Chief Warner will bring up Major O'Carroll. Chief.
Thanks, Chief. Good afternoon, everyone. I join Chief Davis in sending our condolences to all the victims' families in this tragedy that happened across the Commonwealth of Virginia. On November 23rd, 2021, Harrisonburg Police Department identified 2 female victims that were found dead in an open lot in a commercial district of the city of Harrisonburg. Anthony Robinson, age 35, was arrested as a result of video surveillance and cell phone records that connected him to 2 victims. The first victim, as Chief Davis mentioned, was Elizabeth Redmond, age 54, of Harrisonburg, and Tanita Laree Smith, age 39, of Charlottesville. Harrisonburg Police Department and Charlottesville Police Department were conducting 2 separate missing persons investigations, which resulted in narrowing the focus to search this open lot. Both women were discovered within a short distance of each other, dead, although their deaths took place at 2 separate times. On November 30th, 2020, a Metropolitan PD contacted the Harrisonburg Major Crimes Division and noted that the last known person that a missing person that they were investigating had contact with Robinson. It was a result of that information HPD Major Crimes was able to determine that through cell phone records that contact took place in and around the area of the Moon Inn on Richmond Highway in Alexandria. Then we received contact from Fairfax Police Department, and Major O'Carroll's team contacted us. And so then we began this coordinated effort to track down more victims, unfortunately, that were at the hands of this shopping cart killer, Mr. Robinson. So now I'd like to introduce Major O'Connor.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate that. Good afternoon, everyone. As introduced, I'm Major Ed O'Carroll. I have the pleasure of heading the Fairfax County Police Department's Major Crime, Cyber, and Forensics Bureau. 10 days ago, on December 7th, detectives from the Fairfax County, Virginia Police Department received a call for assistance from the Metropolitan Washington, D.C. Police Department for help in locating a missing female. My team immediately pulled resources together to aid in the search. Detectives were informed that Miss Cheyenne Brown, 29, of Washington, D.C., took the Metro from Washington, D.C. to the Huntington Metro stop on September 30th and never returned. Digital data showed that Miss Brown was in the 6100 block of Richmond Highway, possibly at the Moon Inn on the night of her disappearance. Homicide detectives, with assistance of a cadaver dog from the George Mason University Police Department, responded to the Moon Inn in that immediate area and conducted a search. Unfortunately, we were unable to locate Miss Brown or any evidence relevant to her whereabouts. My team traveled to Harrisonburg to meet the chief and her detective team and to gather additional intelligence about the link between Miss Brown and our suspect and the nexus to Fairfax County. Detectives from my homicide squad coordinated with the Metro Transit Police Department and actually located video surveillance of Miss Brown at the Huntington Metro stop on September 30th. We authored a search warrant, executed for cellular data, and we received it immediately, confirming that Miss Brown and the suspect were at the same location on September 30th, the night of her disappearance. Video surveillance confirms that the victim and the suspect were together in Washington, D.C. at the same Metro stop on that fateful night. This past Wednesday morning, new information was provided that took my detectives back to the area of the Moon Inn to expand their original search. Wednesday afternoon, just 2 days ago on December 15th, homicide detectives found what had caught their eye, which is in the wooded area just off Route 1 of an item that required a little bit more of investigative research. Remembering that the victims in the Harrisonburg murders were transported by using a shopping cart, detectives observed a shopping cart in the wooded area not far from the Moon Inn. Besides the shopping cart was a lone container. When detectives looked inside the lone container, their worst fears were confirmed. They observed what appeared to be human remains. We contacted the Office of the Medical Examiner. They responded, along with an anthropologist from the George Mason University, Dr. Falsetti. And thank you to the doctor and the team. The initial analysis done on the scene confirmed what we thought. Likely human remains were inside. Through a coordinated effort between the Fairfax County Police Department, Harrisonburg, the Metropolitan Police Department, detectives tentatively believe the remains discovered in the container are that of Miss Brown. As the Chief Davis mentioned, the tentative identification is based upon a very distinct tattoo that Miss Brown had on her body. We are working with the Department of Forensic Science and further DNA testing to positively and scientifically confirm her identity. Sadly, these remains were not alone in the container. The remains of another unknown identified individual were discovered. Detectives have been working nonstop on this case since being notified of Miss Brown's disappearance in Fairfax County. We have...
Yeah, so somebody was asking earlier, and I see Tamika commenting, thank you. She says, a serial killer usually murders 3 or more people. That's what I saw, the definition of, I think, 3 or more people. Really, the title, I just took it off an article. Really, if there's 4 bodies, I guess if they really attribute it all to him, which it seems like they are, then he's a serial killer, I would think. I always wonder too sometimes why they dub them. I mean, I understand. Yeah, it's a shopping cart. I guess that's his MO. Why do they have to come up with the MOs? It's just kind of. I mean, I guess it's what is that? The shopping cart killer. I guess that's going to be a headline on a TV show eventually or a special, like one of those documentaries, the shopping cart killer. I don't know. The other thing, what I'm thinking, guys, too. I'm thinking that we should separate the end of times from this, just like a judgment call. And I can come back later today. I'm gonna give you. I got some content for you guys. We're gonna do this. There's another story I want to share, but I don't think it's good to keep these two things together because the end of times thing is gonna be. I think it's just weird to segue from this. This is really serious to that. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm thinking separate it, and I'll come back and we'll do an end of times thing. I think it'd just be better like that, maybe.
Determined that the suspect in custody in Harrisonburg was communicating with Miss Brown, utilizing a dating website. Detectives are hoping that further examination of these records that we have and more that are coming will provide additional information on who the second victim is. We have a lot of work to do. While the investigation, the multi-jurisdictional investigation, is still young, and we are in the early stages, detectives believe that the deaths were at the hand of the serial killer. The suspect, thankfully in custody at the Rockingham County, Virginia jail. And again, we believe him to be involved in the death of these two additional innocent victims. Special thanks to the detective team, the lead detective, Detective Young, her squad, to our crime scene unit, all our staff, sworn and professional, and to our victim services, thank you. It's a team effort. There may be other victims in this case, and we are asking for anyone with additional information to come forward. Call the Fairfax County Police Department Major Crimes Bureau at 703-246-7800. Tips can also be submitted anonymously through our Crime Solvers program. And that phone number is 1-866-411-TIPS. That's 1-866-411-TIPS. Again, anonymous tipsters can make that call, and there is a reward program for information that leads to charges. So my remarks in closing is not to the suspect, and it's not to my team. It's to the impacted families. I'm sorry. My deepest condolences. This police department, the Harrisonburg Police Department, all the agency mentioned are absolutely committed. Justice will prevail, and the offender will be held accountable for what he did. And we haven't ruled out they, I'll use the plural term, maybe what they did, and how he or they did it. Thank you.
Questions? Sam?
So are we to presume that perhaps this fourth victim is somebody from this area, because you say the remains were found in the same container?
So, Sam, we have not positively identified the fourth victim, but we have leads that will hopefully, in short order, help us identify this unidentified person. We do have leads on who it may be. The state of decomposition was so bad that it's going to take a little bit of work, but we have leads about a missing person in particular in the area, last seen in the area, that we're following very closely.
In this area?
Last seen in this area.
Chief,
Bruce?
as I understand it, Ms. Brown was 4 months pregnant. Does Virginia law allow you to charge for the death of that baby?
Yeah, so I've spoken with the Office of the Commonwealth Attorney. I've spoken with the Commonwealth Attorney. He's aware of this case. He was when it first came to light. And then, to our surprise, that we have two victims, not one. That's something that's part of the investigation, and we haven't ruled anything out on potential charges for the person or persons responsible for these deaths. As I said in my comments, and I'll emphasize them because they're important, justice will prevail.
Two quick questions. Has the suspect been cooperating at all, acknowledging any of these crimes? And then secondarily, is there DNA evidence to tie him to one, two, or more of these crimes?
I'll ask Chief Warner to speak about the degree of cooperation. We certainly don't want to compromise the integrity of Chief Warner's investigation or our pending investigation, but I'll let the chief address that. And DNA forensic evidence is always something that we're seeking. As we mentioned, the state of decomposition for the 2 victims found here in Fairfax County was so bad that it's going to take a little while to get 100% certain identification, but we have every reason to believe that Cheyenne Brown is one of the 2 persons in that container.
And there's physical evidence as well to tie him to each scene or to all the cases?
There's certainly mounting evidence that puts our killer right here in Fairfax County, just like he was placed right there in Harrisonburg. So, Chief, do you want to add to that?
Thank you.
Regarding Pierre, yes, to the physical evidence, we're collecting physical evidence, of course, to echo Chief Davis. Certainly, we're collecting all of that for DNA, and so we're going to hone in on that for certain. And regarding his cooperation, he does have an attorney, so we have not had a statement from him, so no.
Chief Davis, 2 quick questions. Have you guys been in contact with any federal law enforcement, and are federal law enforcement assisting you guys as of right now in the investigation?
Yeah, again, I don't mean to punt back to back, but I'll ask Chief Warner to describe some outreach that she has already had with Quantico. And then I'll reiterate, we are going to engage in a very thorough retrospective examination. We're working backwards right now. So thankfully, Anthony Robinson is in custody. We believe he's responsible for these 4 deaths. But what else is he responsible for? We know that he has had addresses as far north as New York, to Prince George's County, to Washington, D.C., and we know he's obviously traveled all the way down to Harrisonburg. But where else has he been? Where else has he laid his head? Where else has he worked? Who does he know in all the jurisdictions in between? So it's going to be a real thoughtful, thorough effort because we need to work, again, with the jurisdictions to see if any of their missing persons meets the profile that we're establishing here for our killer's profile, and MO and all those types of things.
And a quick follow-up, you mentioned that they were meeting on a hotel and had met or different hotels and met on dating apps. Do you believe that there's a sexual motive at all? Were any of these victims sexually abused or had sexual contact with the person in custody?
Yeah, I don't know that with certainty, but again, that's something that we're obviously exploring. Chief, do you want to add to the earlier piece?
Just that we are working backwards right now. That's what we have to do. He's in custody now, and so that's what we have to take those steps to go backwards, right? Because your question was working with the federal government. Sure, they're helping us now. The main thing is that he is in custody. So they are assisting us in that investigation because they have a bigger web for us. So to answer your question then is yes.
Thank you.
It sounds like the victims that you know of now were people missing over a period of weeks or months. Do you have any working theory as to how far back you're going to be looking? Could it be going back years and years or more recent, or just don't know?
Well, we really don't know. Again, we don't know. That's why we're asking for the public's help. And we're scanning. Yeah. This has gone out through all of our fusion centers. Do you know of any other missing persons? We're trying to gather as much intel as possible. I mean, Chief said it best. We are working backwards. That's why the Major put it out. Do you know? Is there any more information? Please get it to us.
Could you describe, you said the bodies were found in a container in Fairfax County. Could you describe what that container was? And can you give us any background on Robinson? That not much is known about it.
It was a large plastic container, and like Major O'Carroll described, adjacent to the container where we found the remains of our 2 victims was a shopping cart.
And what about his background?
So probably not remarkable to serial killers going back many years in many other places across the country, a remarkable absence of a criminal history, a remarkable absence. So that's why we're going to need help from family, friends, associates, employers, neighbors, anyone who can shed a little bit of light on Anthony Robinson's profile.
Do you know what he did
He's
for work or anything like that?
I think he was pretty transient. I think he had many jobs over the years. But again, that transient nature is going to, or has rather, prompted us to figure out where he's been over the last several years. And this, like you said, this could go back. We're going into this wide open, clear-minded, open eyes to see how far back and how many victims he may be responsible for.
I'm going to read an article to you guys that's going to recap some of this. So for the new people that joined, if you're a little, want to know some of the details, I'm going to go over, this is a pretty decent article that shows the pictures of the killer and some of the, these women, and just goes kind of briefly over some of the details. And I also, like I said, I'm going to postpone End of Times for later, but I do have another story, and I also have, I think, like 2 or 3 videos that are interesting, that are not like whatever crazy, that will fit in with this. That's fine. I want to separate it because I didn't watch this previously, but I'm like, this is serious. I don't want to be cackling after, even though we might have some moments, but I think it's better just to leave it for a little bit later. So we'll do that. I'll be back after that. And please hit like. I would appreciate it. It really helps out the stream. Thank you.
With the dating
Taking their
apps
lives.
Is a lead. One last question. With the dating apps as a lead, are you able to identify other names that you're going to follow up, and if you could give us a sense of how many names that might be?
Yes, absolutely. That's why I said we have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of digital evidence in this case, a lot of search warrants.
He's caught.
That have and will be written. But let me just give you a time frame. An autopsy is underway today. This case is still active to uncover the two remains in the one container. Has had us busy yesterday and today. It's a tragedy. I see you kind of shaking your head, and I agree. This case has us shaking our head. Why? Because the victims did nothing wrong. Didn't have to happen. But justice will prevail. So we have a lot of work to do, and I do think from the video surveillance that we found, from the digital footprint that has been left by at least one of our victims and the suspect, this case is falling together to hold that offender accountable.
Are you releasing some of that?
I wonder if he has like a Facebook and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really have time to look at all that stuff. I might do a separate video sometime too, if this story kind of progresses, because they're saying, there could be possibly other people, other victims. If it progresses, we might maybe it'll do an actual full thing on this. This is just kind of like breaking news today, and they had this press conference.
Video evidence of the public can help in the case?
So we have released the suspect's or the arrestee's photo. And as the chief said, when we did look at his criminal history, when we started doing our workup, it's absent. Actually, the only thing that showed was the 4 charges in Harrisonburg, the 2 murders and the felony disposal of human remains. So we will locate every step that Mr. Robinson took, because he interacted with people. We know he's killed some of them. There might have been some that escaped or ran across him and have information. So we are working backwards. We've added additional team members from Fairfax, but this is a multi-jurisdictional case that will likely take us even out of Virginia.
I was just asking about the video in terms of, is there a video you will release or have released?
No, we're not intending to release the video right now. We're working with the families. We're trying to give them as much information because we're hours into this. It's still in the double digits so we're working with the families. If we find something that gives more light to who Mr. Robinson is, but we want people to come forward that have run across him. Maybe they work with him. Maybe they met him on a social.
Thanks, Kiss Me. Kiss Me says, yes, he has an FB. Just looked it up. Nothing good. It's on private. Oh, okay, thanks. Sometimes it's kind of interesting to see the Facebook because you see like all these little weird quirks. Sometimes. And sometimes you just don't really see much. Melissa, thank you for being a member. Gracias. Appreciate it. That really helps out when the videos get demonetized and censored and all that kind of stuff. So thank you.
Media type site. Maybe they live down the street or they just ran into him at a grocery store. There are people that have information, and we're asking them to help us bring justice to these victims.
If it is just these 4 victims and the 4th victim is the person that you believe it is, over what period of time do you now know that he was operating? Over what period of time was this shopping cart killer operating?
Bruce, we're only going back a couple, 2 or 3 months. That's it.
Wow.
And that's what worries us. He didn't suddenly turn into who he is 3 months ago. So that's why we're painstakingly going through his whereabouts, his relationships, his employment history, to figure out if in fact there are other victims. And like Major O'Carroll said, he may have had interactions with women that he's met on these dating sites who have, for whatever reason, know something about him. It didn't go that far, obviously, with them, but no doubt in my mind that these are not the only 4 women, at least 3, maybe 4, that he's made contact with through his dating sites. There are others, and we need to do our best to identify them. Yes, sir.
Has Fairfax County filed any charges yet?
Not yet.
We have not, but charges are forthcoming.
Guys, we'll do 2 more questions.
Quick question about the TikTok threats that have been going around. I know it's a side note, but do you believe that any of the threats to public schools in Fairfax County, are there credibility to any of those? And are Fairfax County police moving around the school districts today?
Well, yeah, I'll say, first and foremost, we have a premier school resource officer program. Our SROs are part of a nationally renowned SRO program. So we're aware of all those bits of information that come in, and we act upon them swiftly and judiciously. So it's something we always take very seriously, and we're taking it very seriously this time.
Thank you.
Just for each of the victims that you know, were all of them introduced to him through the dating app? Is that how he? Or
we believe that the 3 are. Obviously, we don't have a confirmed identity on the 4th one, so I can't speak to her. But again, the commonality is, how do they meet? Dating sites. How are they killed? Trauma to the body. How are they transported to their final resting place? The shopping cart. Hence, shopping cart killer. And I don't want to give this guy a cape, but that's who he is. He's a killer. He's a serial killer. We know who he is. Thank God. He's behind bars right now, but that still doesn't take away from the urgency that exists to identify any other victims that might be out here, literally beyond the Commonwealth of Virginia and up the East Coast. Thank you.
Wow. All right. So I'm going to read an article to kind of recap and go over some of the information. We can look at his picture and some of the victims' pictures. I don't think the 4th one has been identified yet. So we're going to do that. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. I'm trying to get into like a regular pattern, hopefully at least Monday through Friday with live streams. Again, get back into that pattern. And just want to say thank you for the super chats. F. Meyer says, thank you for all you do. I watch you instead of TV. Hey, keep your head up. And thank you for coming on today. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Chris V, thank you so much for the super chat. And RM, thank you. Now the article, let's see. Kind of like this article that I saw here. It had the pictures of, let me go full screen here. Let's just look at well, let me read this first. So this guy he's a DC man, okay? A DC man known as the shopping cart killer and alleged serial killer in Virginia is in custody after authorities believe they have linked 4 murders to him and say there could be more victims. The announcement comes after a body was found in a wooded area in the Alexandria section of Fairfax County earlier this week. The suspect serial killer, 35-year-old Anthony Eugene Robinson of Washington, D.C., was charged with 2 recent homicides in Harrisonburg. We're here today to talk about a serial killer, and that is the phrase that I've used sparingly. We've kind of heard all this too. This is just a quote from the presser. Sparingly, I'm at 3 decades of in this profession. The police say the bodies of 4 victims have been found since August in the Commonwealth. They're now looking to identify more victims. Human remains were found Wednesday, December 15, in an isolated wooded area near a Target shopping cart in the 2400 block of Fairhaven Avenue in Northern Virginia. The woman is believed to be 29-year-old Cheyenne Brown, Although police said they don't have 100% identification yet, they believe a tattoo on the woman's body identifies her. One other female victim remains unidentified. The reason why we're not waiting to share this information, waiting until we get positive 100% DNA or dental verification, is because we believe there may be other victims in the area and throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we need to act now. What we know about the alleged shopping cart killers is being dubbed. Authorities say the suspect found his victims on dating sites, which, like I saw some of you mentioning in the comments. I'm kind of curious to know what sites he was using. And then met them in area motels. He met at least 2 victims in the Moon Inn, located at the 6100 Richmond Highway in Fairfax County. Moon Inn. This is his face right here. Okay. Charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 felony counts of concealing, transporting, and altering a dead body in those 2 homicides. Davis said he then inflicts trauma on his victims before killing them. Lord only knows what kind of trauma, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if it was like in a sexual nature or what. It could be anything, right? He transports their bodies to their final resting place, literally in a shopping cart. A photo of a shopping cart in a wooded area in Fairfax County. That's what police said a body was found December 15. These are kind of quotes that we've heard already, but it says he's a predator, as all serial killers are, and it's our collective effort in law enforcement to do everything we can with each other and with the community to identify other places where he has been so we can bring closure and ultimately justice, Davis added. Our shopping cart killer does unspeakable things with his victims. So, I can only imagine. I don't even want to know. We believe he's responsible for these 4 deaths, but what else is he responsible for, Davis asked. Robinson has addresses linked to him as far north as New York to Prince George's County to Washington, D.C. He's all over the place. We know he's obviously traveled all the way down to Harrisonburg, but where else has he been? Where else is he laid his head? Where else has he worked? That's so weird. Where else is he worked? I guess. This shouldn't be has he worked? I don't know. Who does he know? And all jurisdictions in between, Davis asked. Davis said Robinson has remarkable absence of criminal history. So he's just been in the shadows, lurking, I guess, or not just being caught. Low key. He is described as a transient and having many jobs over the years. That's why we're going to need help from family, friends, associates, employers, neighbors, anyone who can shed a little bit of light on Anthony Robinson's profile. At this time, police are looking at cases back 2 or 3 months, but they said they just don't know how far back the cases may go. And we kind of heard all this through the press conference. Timeline of how police linked the cases. Harrisonburg police reported 2 missing women were found dead on November 23rd. The bodies of 54-year-old Aline Elizabeth Beth Redmond of Harrisonburg and 39-year-old Tonita Laura Smith of Charlottesville were found in an undeveloped lot near Linda Lane. The women's bodies were found near each other, but their deaths occurred at different times. So I guess he's just dumping the bodies in the same area, similar areas. Maybe he's gotten comfortable. I guess it's just ML2. Harrisonburg Police Chief Kelly Warner said Friday cell phone records and video surveillance linked Robinson to the woman's murder. So that's what they were talking about when they were like, oh, they're going to release the video or whatever. For now, they're not going to, but I'm kind of curious to see. So this is Aline, 54-year-old, and this is Tonita. Robinson was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 felony counts of concealing, transporting, or altering a dead body in those 2 homicides. He is currently being held at Rockingham County Jail on those charges. On November 30th, Metropolitan Police reached out to Harrisonburg Major Crimes Division to note that Robinson was the last contact for the missing person they were investigating. Through cell phone records, police learned the missing person and Robinson had made contact near the Moon Inn. You know what I like to do sometimes too? When I'm covering stories sometimes and I hear like of these different hotels, motels, whatever you call it, 'cause I did it for a previous story, a missing person. I sometimes go there and I just read the reviews and I just sometimes get a feel of like, I mean, it might be nothing, but sometimes it's interesting because you'll hear stories or reviews of people like, oh, this place is trash. Oh, this place is for drugs. This place is for this, for that. And sometimes just reading the reviews, if you look at a bunch of them, sometimes you can kind of get a feel for like what goes on. You know, is it like a shady, seedy hotel or whatever? And you know, also, you know, the 3D street view, I kind of like to see that too, just to get a visual, you know, but I'm not exactly sure which, like what moon inn, is there multiple of them? Or is it just one? Is it like a private thing or like a, you know, I don't know. But I've never heard of moon inn. The Fairfax County Police also reached out to Harrisonburg on the case. So then we began at this coordinated effort to track down more victims. Unfortunately, that was at the hands of the shopping cart killer. So this is another person here. Oh, this is Cheyenne Brown. We just talked about her. 29-year-old. So she was reported missing from Washington, D.C., September 30th, 2021. Cheyenne. Major Ed O'Carroll of the Crime/Cyber and Forensics Bureau in Fairfax said on December 7th, MPD reached out to Fairfax police to help locate Brown, the missing 29-year-old. Detectives learned Brown took the metro from D.C. to Huntington Station on September 30th. She never returned. Digital data showed Brown was at the Moon Inn on the night of her disappearance. With the help of a cadaver dog, detectives searched for Brown but couldn't find her. As police departments started working together on the case, they reached out to Metro Transit Police Department and found video surveillance showing Brown at the Huntington Metro Station on September 30th. We authorized a search warrant executed for cellular data. We received it immediately, confirming that Miss Brown and the suspect were at the same location on September 30th. I'm surprised to see all this collaboration too, which is great. Sometimes you hear like issues or just police departments or whatever not really communicating. It seems like there was a lot of good police work that seems to have been done with this case, particularly. We authorized a search warrant executed for cellular data, and we received it immediately. Oh yeah, I just read that. Confirming Miss Brown and the suspect were at the same location September 30th. Then 2 days ago, police went back to the Moon Inn to expand their original search after learning the suspect allegedly disposed of his victims' bodies using a shopping cart. They spotted one in a wooded area off Route 1. Besides the red Target shopping cart was a container. When they looked inside, police found human remains. Those human remains are believed to be Brown. Police said they found another individual's remain inside the container. Although they have some leads on who it may be, the body was in such bad stage of decomposition it may take time. We believe him to be involved in the death with these two additional innocent victims. So police, they're looking for tips. Like I said, I might, you know, if it continues to build or more people, more victims or something, I might do a direct video on this. Maybe a deep dive on that. But that's pretty crazy. Shopping cart killer. Somebody commented too earlier about, they left me a comment on this guy. What's this guy's name? Chimamir or something. Some weirdo serial killer in, I think, Texas. This guy's name. Billy Chimamir, or whatever you say it. I'm surprised they didn't dub this guy, but he's kind of like, I guess you would consider him the what was it, the pillow killer or something. He would pretty much elderly people. He'd pretend to be like a maintenance worker or something like that. He'd force their way into their homes and then like smother them and kill them and like steal. I think he would steal their stuff. And so for people that are wondering about this, if you remember that I covered this on a live stream, briefly, we watched one of the trials. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do all the other ones, but it ended up being a mistrial. Something about, it says hopelessly deadlocked, 11-1. So just one person on the juror, I guess, disagrees. And somebody said something about race. I don't know if I haven't read on this, but that's crazy. One person, mistrial. So it's unfortunate for all the, and it was, so Billy, right? Just to touch on this real quick. He's a Kenyan man accused of the murders of at least 18 elderly women in Dallas, Texas. in its surrounding suburbs. In total, Shemamir has been indicted for 18 murders and more are suspected. Civil suits have been filed accusing him of a further 6 more similar murders. I mean, talk about serial killer. The weird thing with this guy, like the story, it wasn't that big. Like it didn't gain any crazy traction or anything like that. But at the same time, there was a lot of things going on. There was Kyle Rittenhouse. There was, I think it's Ahmad, right? Ahmad, I think. A bunch of different things. I can't even think of. There was a bunch of different things. So this one kind of got slept on. And they, you know what I remember about this? For the people that were here, there was this gangster grandmother that survived, and she talked about like fighting with this guy, and she was kind of snippy. She was a really nice, sweet lady. But did she survive? I don't know if she may have later died. I don't remember. But she was just a really, really nice lady. It was kind of actually funny to see her testimony, just to see how, because she wasn't like, I don't know, you would have to see it to know what I'm talking about, or for people that were there, but she was just like this really sweet old lady, and she was kind of like snippy because the cop was annoying her when questioning her, and she was kind of like snipping back or whatever. But the weird thing with this guy, it's like he was smothering his victims, and so like, it's just kind of weird. Like you didn't really see, I guess, like trauma or whatever. He would just suffocate them, and it made me think of like SIDS and babies, and what the tricky thing with SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome or something like that. What is SIDS? What's the acronym? SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome, where supposedly babies just randomly die. I was scared as shit about with that. Like with my daughter, I was like, okay, what's the safe? When is it, like, how many months into it are you safe? I think 1 year, after 1 year, you're like completely safe. I think after 6 months, you're like pretty good. You're in the safe zone. But people would take advantage of that too and smother their kids and kill them and just be like, oh, it's SIDS. Pretty scary stuff. Okay. So we'll see. We're going to follow up on this guy. Let me see. Let me look at the pictures here. I think we looked at all of them already, but. Yeah, so we saw these. All right, so another story that I wanted to kind of bring somewhat briefly to you guys. This was kind of interesting. The reason to me it stuck out a little bit is because it reminded me of Heidi Plank and the recent update to the story, the alleged situation where they were saying that this woman was at a party at this high-rise building, the Flower and something, and the new allegations was that she took something that was laced with fentanyl, Adderall laced with fentanyl. The woman overdosed. Allegedly, the people at the party didn't know what to do with her. They supposedly threw her down a trash chute. She got stuck at the 28th floor, which then I guess they went and like push her down further. And that's where her dog was found on the 28th floor. And then now the police are searching landfills. So, it's interesting. It's kind of weird. It's kind of messed up if that's what really happened. And so there's this story about, and I guess this does happen, and I mentioned it on a previous live stream, where these people, you're out partying and you're out with some people that really don't care about you, could care less about you, and something happens, they just toss you aside or they leave you for dead. And so there was these 3 men arrested in connection to the deaths of model Christy Gills, friend whose body were dumped outside LA hospitals. So I'm going to take you through some of this. I'm going to take you through some of that. Yeah, I'm going to take you through some of that, and then I got like 2 videos we can watch as well, 2 different things. And then later we'll do the end of times. So this is 3 Hollywood party girls were busted in connection with the mysterious deaths of 2 women whose bodies were dumped outside of Los Angeles area hospitals. David Pierce, 37, Brant Osborne, 42, and cinematographer Michael Ansbach, 47, were arrested Wednesday afternoon for the November deaths of Christy Gills and Hilda Marcela Garabales Arzola. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Don't mean to disrespect. The LAPD and Gills' husband, Jang Sillers, confirmed Thursday. Pierce was charged with manslaughter and is being held on a $1 million bail. And Force said Osborne, a Staten Island native turned Hollywood hanger-on and actor, and Ansbach, who hails Poughkeepsie, New York native, are each charged with accessory to manslaughter. it's believed that the women were both given drugs and overdosed, the LAPD said in announcing the arrests. So this is one of the pictures here. Los Angeles police reportedly arrested Brandt and 2 other men and sought in connection to the deaths of the woman. Based on the investigation, the LAPD is concerned that there could be other victims in our community who could have been drugged by one or more of these men. That's what kind of stuck out to me. According to the actors Alexandria and David, both 35, Osborne had divulged to them while on a shoot in November about partying with women and later dumping their bodies. Like, who does that? Bro, like, we were partying. Yeah, man, this shit was crazy. And we just dumped their bodies. Like, who casual? What kind of conversation is that to have? I mean, I guess thankfully it happened because at least maybe that's what led to this. I think it's what the story says. And this is Christy here, found dead outside a Southern California hospital. I've had the craziest week in my life, the actor said, or told him. He told me how they partied. 2 girls came back to their place, and the girls had a bunch of drugs. Marietta said Osborne told him he left his apartment to get the virus test for the commercial shoot, and when he returned, his roommate informed him that Gills was dead. He checked her purse, freaked out, decided not to call 911, and they decided what to do with the body, Marietta told the Post. Then they didn't know what to do. They didn't want to call 911 and get in trouble, so they decided to drive and drop her body at the Culver City Hospital. 2 hours later, Gills was discovered. Hilda Wright was found unconscious inside a Kaiser Permanente West Los Angeles Hospital. They're going to kill me on that. Permanente. I feel like I'm saying that wrong, right? Permanente? We got 1,700 people like, what the hell is this guy doing? How do you pronounce this? Permanente. Let's learn it together.
Kaiser Permanente.
Kaiser Permanente. Okay. All right. Kaiser Permanente. He was like, we dropped the first girl off. We came back to our place. Then he checked out the second girl's pulse. And it was very faint. So they tried to decide what to do with the second girl. Got her in the car and decided to drop her off at the second hospital so they didn't get caught. So 2 different hospitals. Gills, 24, a model and aspiring actress, was found dead on the sidewalk of Southern California Hospital in Culver City, November 13. And architect Hilda, 26, was found unconscious outside Kaiser Permanente, West Los Angeles Hospital 2 hours later. Cabrales died after more than 2 weeks, wow, in a coma when her family switched off the life support before her 27th birthday. And that's Hilda right there. Sailors told the Post both Osborne and Pierce were in Pierce's vehicle when they dropped off the bodies of his wife and her friend at the 2 hospitals. He said his wife and Cabrales met the men at a warehouse party. Oh, wow. Kind of reminds me of my crazy 2010 experience. That was at a warehouse too, somewhat of a warehouse in East Los Angeles, and the group went back to the Pierce's apartment. Sailors told the Post that Ansbach is an acquaintance of Pierce. We would like anyone with more information to come forward to the LAPD as soon as possible, Siller said. The LAPD press release alleged that the men were dumped the bodies using a black Toyota Prius with no plates. That's Ron Jeremy right there. Oh, and Paris Hilton. David Pierce with Paris Hilton and Ron Jeremy. 5 days after the bodies were discovered, the Post visited Pierce's Los Angeles apartment and saw what appeared to be a black Prius with California license plates parked in a garage on the property. The car was partially hidden by the half-closed garage. So they were, I guess, wow, he just left the vehicle on his property, her vehicle. That was her vehicle, I think. LA cops nabbed Osborne on the NCIS Los Angeles set shooting near the corner of Hollywood Boulevard and Vine Street in Hollywood around midday Wednesday. Osborne's IMDb page shows 3 acting credits, including the appearance on a 2014 episode of Nurse Jackie. I've actually seen that, or 1 or 2 episodes of that. think that was kind of good. Which he stars as Eddie Falco. According to the IMDb page, Ansbach is a native New Yorker and has worked as a camera operator on TV shows such as Vanderpump Rules, Punk'd, and The Amazing Race. I've heard of these two shows. This is what goes on in Hollywood, right? Partying. Gen Z doesn't know what Ron Jeremy is, right? Like, oh, who's that guy? That guy, Ron Jeremy was charged with a bunch of stuff, wasn't he? Like, I forgot. Do they go into it in this article? Bro, how am I stuck here? Okay, that was weird. Ron Jeremy got charged with a bunch of things. I don't know if it was assault or what it was. Or sexual assault, something. A linked page shows Osborne bartending at a hotel Americano for 15 years. He claims he created my own cocktail called the Sunblazer. His Facebook page also shows him at various LA events. In one photo, he's seen alongside Paris Hilton. In another, he's posing on a hill overlooking Los Angeles. Bad decisions make great stories, his shirt reads. Osborne refused to comment when contacted by the Post in November. I don't have a comment, all right? Goodbye. Marietta said Osborne had told him that the cops searched his apartment the day the woman's bodies were dumped, but no charges were filed at the time. Michael Ansbach. The biggest concern after all of this was the girls had... What? His biggest concern after all of this was the girls had peed in the bed during the night, Marietta said. Cabrales was found to have heroin in her system. Both women's families and friends have alleged the pair had been drugged and assaulted after a night out. Pierce is reportedly also an actor and a wannabe director and has been photographed at events with many stars, including Ron Jeremy, who last year was charged with over 30 counts of sexual assault. Holy crap. What ended up happening to that guy? Did he get locked up or... I don't know. Ansbach described himself on his private Instagram account as a cinematographer, as well as director, producer, writer, and even biohacker. The case against the three men will be presented to the Los Angeles District Attorney on Friday, the LAPD said. This is an ongoing investigation. So, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting because it made me think of Heidi. That story that that YouTube channel, I think her name is Heidi. Mao and Boots or something? Mao and Boots? A story that they broke. Mao and Boots. I think it's plausible. I don't know. It seems very plausible to me. That there could have been a drug situation. Could have been partying. And maybe she got laced stuff. So that story too is something I might cover. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Might cover that. I don't want to say too much of what I'm going to cover, what I'm not going to cover, because sometimes I just can't commit. By the way, too, this is like trending everywhere. Everybody's been talking about this. There's been school threats everywhere. There's viral TikTok school threat warning of December 17 shooting raises concern, although it's deemed not credible. School threats everywhere, I guess in multiple states. Districts across America warning parents, students about TikTok messages reportedly circulating online. People are deeming this not to be credible, but, you know, I don't know. I guess people are trolling. I think there was one guy, Momo told me earlier, some kid was arrested. I think if they find the people, just start arresting them, start charging these kids with terroristic threats. Charge them. Lock them up. I say lock them up. Okay, lock them up. We got to start making examples out of them. If they find them, lock them up. Okay, and two other little sides, somewhat weird, interesting videos, and then I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll come back this evening. I'm going to schedule a live stream, and we'll come back and we'll see. We'll do the end of time stream. But to keep things on a kind of more serious but interesting note, and the title of this video is horrible, but it's interesting. Maybe that's what makes people click. I don't know. It says delusional family refuses to listen to medical professionals. But this is quite interesting because it makes you wonder, what would you do if your family member was in this condition, you know?
He's not going to wake up, and that he's had very...
Langston. Open your eyes for me, baby.
Isn't that crazy, man? I came across that and I was like, wow. Like what they were telling him, there's like pretty much no chance. And when I was watching it at first, before I got to the end, I was like, yeah, I guess so. I guess not, right? Like I think like it's different. Like if somebody's on a ventilator for like the virus that's going around. I've heard so many crazy stories. Like people the day of, they take the thing, they unplug it, the person wakes up. You know, the day they were going to unplug it and things like that. But then when they tell you like brain dead, it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, I guess there's no hope or whatever. And look,
These are all the people that took care of you.
they're like, oh shit, he's here. Oh shit. Amazing though. Glad he's all right. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave that at that. As far as, because we're gonna do the live stream for End of Times later. Some people were asking, what is the End of Times? It's just the stream that we do where we have fun. It's just we watch all the craziness. I try to find current things, but sometimes we watch older clips, and it's just a kickback fun stream. Sometimes that pisses people off. They typically I lose a couple of subscribers every time we do that. Some people, I guess they don't, you know, they don't want to. It has to be death all the time, I guess, 24/7. But yeah, it's usually like a stream. I stopped for a long time. I kind of started again. I kind of want to do it once a week, even though I already did it once this week. And I just had a lot of fun. They restricted the video. You know, sometimes the first video I did that I dubbed End of Times, it actually got taken down. It was completely blocked in the UK because I was playing video clips of these people in the UK where they were literally super gluing themselves to the street on the road of oncoming traffic. And so we kind of had a ball laughing at that. I forgot what it's called. But then they not only did they make it so I can't trim it out, they completely blocked it. I was like, damn. So yeah, it's not for everybody. End of Times is not for everybody. Don't be mad. I just want my birthday stream. Happy birthday, Carly. I know it's tomorrow, you said. Opinion on biotech cloning. I don't know, man. I mean, cloning, I really don't know. It doesn't sound good. Like clone meat. I think one time we were kind of joking about clone meat. Clone meat, I don't know. I don't really know much of anything about it. I've never really read into it, but I wouldn't be interested in eating clone meat. Even we're probably already are eating clone meat. You probably don't even know it. We're probably already eating clone meat, to be honest with you. Insolent Britain. Yes. Some people got upset about that too. Oh, but you don't understand what it's about. And it's not funny. I just thought it was kind of crazy. I thought it was actually really funny. I'd never seen something like that. I thought it was crazy over here. And there's people over there super gluing themselves to the ground. I was like, damn. So yeah, that's basically what that is. Also tonight, we're going to be on Discord. Yeah, Discord for members. The last Friday of every month, we do a public Discord. Everybody from the public, you know, non-member, you can come in there. And then every other Friday, it's just members. So we'll be there tonight. We're going to see what happens. But yeah, the last live stream, I think I lost like, let me see. Ooh, they're detecting copyrighted material. What happened? I already got a notification. I think that video that I played with this guy, it's BBC. Oh God, just thought of something. So let's see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. They might claim the video, today's video. Who knows? I'll trim it out. But the last live stream, I lost. Let's see how many. It's kind of hard to say too because I remember there was a troll trolling the channel, and so I changed subscribers only, and so the guy actually subscribed with all his accounts, and so I don't know if that's just the multiple accounts unsubscribing or if it's actually people. But usually the End of Times, people get upset. Negative 19 subs in the last End of Times. End of Times. So, but yeah, I'll be back later. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to shift through the videos. I want to pull up hopefully some good clips, kind of screen it. I try to pre-screen a little bit. And hopefully not to get to things that are too graphic because the last stream got, I mean, I don't really care if it gets those kind of streams. I don't really care if it gets age restricted. But yeah, if it gets taken down, that sucks. With regards to cloning, they're cloning brain waves onto D-wave supercomputers. Yeah. Oh, and I got my test results back. I'm negative. So no virus for me. No virus. I guess the regular colds or whatever exist. I don't even know what I had. Just my throat feels a little funny. See if there's anything else. Some schools close after shooting rumors on social media. The Omicron variant. I noticed too the virus is typically like a very touchy subject for people. But we don't normally we just kind of laugh about it, but even just I get it. I get it. I guess I get it. But there's like funny stories with the guy with the prosthetic arm. I guess people don't even want to laugh about that. That guy that had the fake prosthetic arm. He went into a vaccination place and he came in with a completely fake arm to try to get the shot and he got caught. I thought that shit was funny. Or the other story with the pizza story is probably not funny for that parent, but how the school allegedly offered pizza to the kid for the shot, and so the kid took the shot and the mother didn't know. He just came home with the vaccine card. I need a test sucks. I'm a stay-at-home dad for an 18-month-old. We're both dripping out our noses and coughing. Oh, that sucks. I don't know what state you're in, but you can go get the free test. Usually with the county, it's super quick. I mean, you could probably just bring your baby with you. When I went, I don't remember when I went. I went a couple days ago. I think Tuesday or something. For me anyway, it was just super quick. You walk over there, put on your mask. You walk in. They even have an app. Here in Florida, they have an app. You just download the app so they can track your ass. And that's pretty much what it is too. They're tracking you, I guess. But you download the app, you give your driver's license, and it's like a super quick swab. Like they're doing the throat ones now over here. So it's not even that nose crap where they shove it all up your nose. It's just a quick throat swab, and I got it back like in 2 days. I think it was 2 days that I got it back. So Sunco said, I got vaccinated last Thursday. I've been so sick. Now they're saying, I saw something about, what are they saying? I think they were saying the other Pfizer's the best one, which I've kind of known. But they said don't go for the other ones or something. The CDC. Ooh. Bro, let me show you how confusing this is. I could only imagine for people that are like trying to decide on what to get. And I feel like this is what it's been for the people that are, into getting the shot. I just typed in Pfizer vaccine. And one here says low dose Pfizer / biotech vaccine fails in trial on 2 to 5 year olds. Unvaccinated kids can stay in school after exposure if tested. Pfizer to test third dose of coronavirus vaccine in young children. I guess they're trying to get it right now. What's the youngest you can do? Is it 5 and up? I think. So now I guess they're trying to get 2 to 5. Pfizer dose vaccine fails in children 2 to 5. Booster suggested. Omicron appears to cause less severe illness, but is more resistant to Pfizer. But I saw an article earlier today. They were recommending to get the Pfizer, but now over here it says it's more resistant to Pfizer. I don't know, bro. Good luck figuring all that out. There's another one that says Moderna COVID-19 shot likelier to cause heart inflammation than Pfizer. So you got to weigh which one is less likely or more likely to cause heart inflammation. But at the end of it and the top of it, and it's because I got to say this because they say you got to say it, I guess, right? You're still better off taking it because that's what they say or whatever. Like especially people that have conditions. I know people that they said they have cancer, they have surgery, or whatever. But it's just interesting to kind of look and you type, and it's like you get all different kinds of varying information depending on where you go. So you have no idea what to do or which one to get. I've always heard supposedly the Pfizer's the better one, but I mean, I don't know. Compared to like Johnson & Johnson. I saw supposedly the CDC now is saying don't get the Johnson & Johnson. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Good luck figuring out that. CDC recommends Pfizer and Moderna vaccines over Johnson & Johnson due to rare blood clotting issue. Okay, that was 23 hours ago. I have family too that has stock in the vaccines. And so anytime something happens, either it goes up or down, just like all stocks. But it's kind of interesting. You can see how when something comes out in the news, it directly affects the vaccine. I think stocks went up when the Omicron came out. I think things started going back up. But did it go down? I thought it went up. Let's see. Pfizer stock. Ooh, they lost a little bit today. Oh, this is over 1 day. Let's see, 5. Oh no, they've been doing good. That's just 1 day. Today it went down a little bit, but over 5 days they've increased. Over 1 month. Oh yeah, money, 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 money. 6 months. Yeah, we're on the up and up. It's good for the drug companies, that's for sure. Money, 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 money. But a day ago, it kind of went down. I don't know why. But this is like tracked throughout the day, I guess. And then 5 days. December 16. Money. Johnson & Johnson stock. Let's see real quick. Ooh. They've been doing all right too. Johnson & Johnson's not doing bad. I mean, I'm definitely not a stock expert, so don't take my word for any of this shit. I don't know what I'm talking about. But it looks like they're, even though they've gone up, but they're going up a little bit from going down. Especially now. See, December 17. Let's see, 1 day. See, today they've had more of a decrease too. It could be because of the news that came out. The news affects the stocks. Money, 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 money. I've been hearing a lot about this NFT stuff. Sounds like nonsense, man. I don't know. I guess they're saying that's the big thing. Non-fungible token or whatever the hell. Another virtual currency or something. Get the NFTs, man. The new thing. Ooh, you schedule your appointment? Okay, Momo. All right. Amazing. I'm not getting the boosters. I got the 2 Pfizer ones. Now I'm done. Yeah, I have some family that feels like that too. I have some family that they got the 2 shots and they're like, all right, they're good. They don't want to keep going on and on and on. Right now they got the booster and then they got the another 4th shot that they're recommending. I don't know how long you have to wait, but there's like another one too. Booster 2.0 or something. So yeah, there's several people I know that are just like, all right, I did my 2 shots, I'm good. But yeah, exactly. Who is making money with these vaccines? I don't know. I guess the drug companies. I don't know how the whole thing works. I never looked into it like that. Kids are 4 to 5 times more likely to get harmed or die from the vaccine. Oh, let me not repeat. I'll read it, but let me not say that. People shut me down. Misinformation. Steven Crowder got banned. I think he's on his 2nd strike now. Steven Crowder. I forgot I don't know what it was this time. Or he got a strike, but he can't post for like a week or I don't know how long. I think a week or more. Steven Crowder. And it was something to do, I thought, with the vaccine. Something, I think. Yeah. Oh, they're happy too. Yeah. Yeah, he's gone. Oh, they're cheering. 1 strike away from permanent ban. They've been trying to get him out of here for a long time. Long time. Emma, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, iCkEdMeL mods. Thank you. Appreciate you mods too. Sally, Momo, Alexa. I don't think Melody's here today. I haven't seen Melody, but thank you, Melody too, for coming through. But all right. Oh, and Donna, sorry I missed your message. Donna and Jess, thank you for the members chat. TikTok challenge today. not school, not shoot day. Oh, I think that's what they were doing, right? The school shooting day or something, or whatever the kids are into. But yeah, all right, we'll come back later. We'll have a little bit of fun. I'll schedule it at least. I'll try to do maybe 2 hours in advance, something like that. And it's just for fun. Maybe I'll even have a beer or something or a drink or something. We'll have a little fun later for the end of times. All right, but appreciate you guys. Love you. I'll be back later. Please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, and like I said, if you haven't seen stories that I recommend that I covered recently, Oakley Carlson, I got to make a playlist for that. Heidi Plank, I made a playlist for that. Those are some good stories. What else? We'll go into another hour. No, just kidding. Oakley Carlson. I think that's kind of it. Lachey was kind of good too. That was interesting. The when they came and spoke to the news about whatever happened, they claimed happened. So, but yeah, I'm out of here, man. Thank you guys so much. Oh, Sally, my Melody is in the house. We love you, Mel. Oh, thank you. Okay. Oh, there you go, Melody. Whoop whoop. Thanks, Sally. All right, so take care, man. I'll be back. Smoke a fatty, Mel. I can't do that, man. I can't. That stuff. The kids, they don't smoke the regular stuff now. These kids are on all kinds of crazy shit. Smoking weed and fentanyl and stuff. I can't do it, man. You guys are just nuts. The kids, man, they're just nuts. I think to the end of time stream, I think maybe that hits a little bit of a younger demographic. I think if there's any younger people here, I'm not talking about kids, but I'm talking about like not teens. Should I say teen? I don't know. Whatever. The younger demographic. You know what I realized today too? I've been telling people I'm 37, but I think I'm actually 36. I think I'm 36. The app, maybe I shouldn't even admit that. I think I'm actually 36. Because I put my date of birth like in the app, the coronavirus app. According to Florida's coronavirus app, it says I'm 36. My birthday was in May of 1985. I don't know. I really thought I was 30. I don't know. But that's a good thing. I think I'm 37. Am I 37 or am I 36? I guess I'll be 36 next May then. 37 next May. Damn, yo. I was giving myself an extra year. That's crazy. I was thinking about that today. I don't even think about my age anymore. It's not like a thing I even really think about that much. How old are you? I never remember my age either. I think I'm 36 or 37. 36. Wow. I don't know why I was going around telling people I'm 37. Yo, that's crazy. I feel good. That's something to be happy about. I've literally told like at least 10 people that lately. I think like, oh, how old are you? 37. Oh my God. I'm 60 and I say I'm 60 and I'm just over 55. Damn. Time flies though, man. Yeah, I've told several people that. I was like, oh Lord. After 40, it's all downhill. That's what they say, man. Try to enjoy the younger years while it lasts. Yeah, I can't read. I can't do math, man. 35, I should be. I guess a lot of people kind of forget their age. I don't know. You look like you're in your 20s. Oh, thank you. I need to get back exercising, man. More healthy. I need to go to the gym or something. Gotta lose the weight. I thought you was in your 40s, Mel. Damn, Momo, try me. Oh my God. 36, Mel. Huh? I'm March 85, and I'm definitely 36. Mind you, I have forgotten a time or two and had to calculate it. Yeah, I literally busted out the calculator today. I was on the phone with Momo, and I was like, yo, like, because I was looking at my testing, and the app tells me I'm 36. I'm like, what? So I busted out the calculator. I was like, yeah, no, I'm actually 36. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it while it lasts. But anyway, man, love you guys so much. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it, man. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Just I don't know, a couple months ago, 6 months ago, we were just getting like, I don't know how many viewers, 100, 200. Now it's been sometimes 1,000, most of the time 1,000 plus, depending on the topic. It's pretty cool when we can do. I was surprised with the end of times, the viewership that we get. The last one did pretty well, and I was like, oh crap, I could just type whatever and we get a decent amount, or somewhat a decent amount, you know. I'm sure when we cover a big story, it's gonna jump up and fly. But you know, I appreciate that, and I really had a lot of fun that last time we're hanging out on the last live talking about drugs. Let's stream about drugs. So, but yeah, anyway, man.